Iva?
Mela. Xi nitkellem bl-Ingliż konna nkunu live ta'.
All right.
Hi, hello, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is our second webinar that DGW is organizing this evening. The topic that we're gonna be discussing tonight is the role of trade unions during the COVID-19 pandemic crisis. So tonight with me I have Mr. Kendrick Bondin, who is our guest tonight and our main speaker. So Kendrick, first of all, thank you for joining us this evening. So Kendrick, maybe you can give us an introduction, a small introduction about yourself. Basically, what is your role at the General Workers Union? So from Kendrick, from your end, tell us, who are you?
Well, yeah. Well, hello, and thank you very much, Larino, for inviting me for this interesting webinar. I mean, it's a very good initiative from the General Workers Union Youths. And clearly, it's something that affected all of us all around the world, not just Malta. So I'm very delighted to be here today. Well, I am Kendrick Bondin. I am the Secretary for Public Service, Public Sector and Health Sector, including the private sector. I also take care of projects within the General Workers Union. And I was also a secretary for the General Workers Union Youth. So as you can know and you can tell, I am definitely loving this webinar because it reminds me a lot of when I was a secretary, and I still love this NGO. So thank you very much for having me here.
Thank you, Kendrick. It's always nice it's always a pleasure to welcome you at the GW Youths. And again, thank you very much. So maybe we can move on to our first question, who my colleague would like to ask you regarding the COVID pandemic. I give the floor to Luana.
So you can ask me yourself, Larino, if you want. Yes. Hello, Luana.
Hello. During COVID-19, what were the overall challenges for the employees?
Oh, well, the overall challenges were many. And one must know that they were all different and unique in nature. So, being that we had never encountered such an epidemic during our lifetime, unfortunately, the issues differed from one sector to another. We had some sectors which had to close down many of their work, and you had employees who couldn't attend work, and therefore the government subsidies were a necessity, especially in the light that many have loans, they have rent to pay, and they still need to live. It was a horrible situation, one that affected people both physically, mentally, and also socially. It changed all our lives. Also, you had employees who were still going to work. They had anxiety because they were fearing because of this illness. Also, they had hours which were reduced for them. When an employee has their hours reduced, of course, their salary would be deducted as well. So people saw changes in their salaries and their lifestyle. Also, some others had to stay in hotels away from their relatives so they could provide good service to the country, such as the people in the water services. Others in the health sector, many who work in the residents' homes, they had to lock themselves with patients as well, with the residents, so as to decrease the spread of this virus. Clearly, it was a difficult time, and we had to all help each other out in such a situation. So those were, in a nutshell, some of the challenges that we had to face. And also, unfortunately, there was the issue of unemployment as well that some sectors had faced and are still facing. Something else? Yes?
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Larinov, another question from your end?
Hi, Kendrick. Yes, thank you very much for your description. So, from our end, basically, what issues were encountered overall at the workplace, Kendrick, with regards to COVID pandemic?
Well, as I've said, issues at the workplace were deductions of work. Others had reduced hours. Others had to also adapt to the new technologies, like working from home or doing different duties as well. We had entities that people and workers worked in tandem with the employer, so they were given different duties, so they won't have their wages decrease. So they had to adapt to new skills, even maintenance skills. You had people from the administration doing technical and maintenance work. This was all necessary to keep on going and save the workplaces during such a pandemics. Clients were not there, tourists weren't here, so some, like income wasn't coming in for the organizations, and well, there was great support from many employees and employers. It was nice to see that many worked hand in hand. Of course, there were issues such as employers getting the government supplements, and they were not giving them to their employees, so they were retaining such supplements. There were companies that reduced the hours for the workers, and the government was giving that difference to the workers, and some employers chose to keep it for themselves, and we had to discuss and even issue industrial disputes. Others, employees, we had employees that, for example, they do reception work, cleaning work, and they wanted teleworking, and one had to explain to them that, listen, some duties that you cannot do them from home. So you have a variety of challenges, both coming from the employers, both coming from the employees, and the union was there to try and mitigate all these situations. It was a very rough period. We at the union, we didn't stop, and we had different challenges every day, from unemployment to people just wanting to stay at home. Others, we had challenges such as people in the private sector could benefit from parental leave, extended parental leave, while others in the public service and sector and people who work in the private industry and are doing a service in a governmental entity, they couldn't benefit from the parental leave. So they needed to make ends meet to leave their children in safe hands. So yeah, there were different challenges and ones which I have never expected at times as well. Yeah.
Yeah, this was a very hard period for most employees, of course. Most particular, I think, the tourism sector. Kendrick, maybe you can talk something, maybe give a small description about what happened in the tourism sector.
Well, yes, thank you for pointing that out. It's a very good question. Thing is, the tourism sector and the hospitality were the most affected by this. Why? Reason being, we didn't receive any tourists. Hotels closed down during the shutdown period. People couldn't go to restaurants, so people in the catering suffered. And everyone had to make ends meet with the government supplements, change their whole life. And still nowadays, we are still facing such difficulties. I mean, nothing has returned back to normal in the sector. Yes, the country has recovered. Yes, people are working. Yes, society is back. But we still don't have the amount of tourists as we used to. And that is affecting a lot and many employees. Thank God with some vouchers and all, people are going out, they're attending hotels like in the pool. Also, they're going and in restaurants, like life has started once again, coming back to normal, but still this sector was so impacted and still is, and we are always on the go discussing how to protect the employees in this sector. I think this sector will be the last one to recover from all the sectors, actually. We'll wait and see. But at least there's a positive beginning and positive presence where people and society and economy is recovering. Yes, we were hit hard, and now we need to build our economy once again. And I think through the work and effort of all our society, I think we will manage. We will manage in a very, very good manner.
Yes, thank you, Kendrick. Yes, we hope so. So, my colleague Luana, yes, my colleague Luana wants to ask you another question, Kendrick. Maybe Luana, you have the floor.
Yes, sorry, Luana, but it's very nice to have two presenters, a male and a female, balancing gender equality. It's very nice to see youths doing their part and encouraging such equality. Well done, European youths.
Thank you. How did the trade union assist these employees, and what tools were used to solve these issues?
Oh, well, we had various methods and issues. So basically, our meetings kept on going. Thank God for the media that we could use, like today, what we're using today, the method, these platforms, Microsoft Teams, Zooms, and we could assist them. And also, we were in constant communication with the director for Industrial and Employment Relations. We're in constant contact with the employees and the employers and guiding them to where to seek help and information, assist them where we could, where it is work-related and where COVID was involved regarding health and safety. We always told them to seek the professional advice, which was the free phone number, and there was great assistance, synergy, and also we at the union also called and they were very helpful on the 111. And I think everyone did their part. It wasn't just the union, it wasn't just the free phone. I think all the citizens have contributed, or let's say 90% of the citizens have contributed to all of this. I had issues, for example, unfortunately, where people in the health professions, they didn't want to work with patients with COVID. And I told them, like, listen, this is a vocational profession. One cannot differentiate between one illness and another. And so, yes, everyone had to do their part, and we did our part by educating everyone, negotiating, and also where there were, unfortunately, employers who are going to put people on unemployment. We discussed, we tried to find solutions, and we managed to save a lot of jobs. This was something which was not seen around, and all people were concerned. We were there to assist them. It drained us at the union. It was very taxing on us, and but we managed. And I also thank all our representatives who were there, the shop stewards, representative, assistant shop stewards who were there to work with us as a team. The union works as a team. It is called a union for a reason, because we need to be united, because there is strength in numbers. And that's what we did during this pandemic. We were strong together.
Thank you, Kendrick.
Thank you.
Obviously, when you have teamwork, you then gain results, obviously. So, Kendrick, my colleague Matthew asked me to, maybe he's asking to ask you a question, so maybe you can clarify some things with him.
Yeah, sure.
Matthew, from your end, you have the
Uh,
floor.
Thank you, Larino. Kendrick, from your perspective, what are the consequences of COVID-19 which are still yet to come in the foreseeable future?
Oh, well, no one can predict the future in an exact manner, but as I discussed before, I think we have some sectors which have been affected in a very negative manner. So they will need their time to recover. We need to help them, assist them by using their services, and then doing so by helping our economy will be helping all the residents of Malta. If a sector fails, then we will all fail. Remember, economy is all related to. So if we don't assist our brothers and sisters during this moment of time, then it will come back to us because it might affect our economy and certain benefits and leisure that we enjoy might affect our lifestyle. This is because if some services may close down, we will not enjoy their services anymore. And we'll have more unemployment, something which we don't want to see. The more people in employment that we have, the healthier our society will be. So I encourage everyone to make use of services, especially in the hospitality industry. So we'll keep on helping all the residents of Malta. Thank you, Mathieu.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Laura also wants to ask another question, Kendrick. Laura, you have the floor.
Good afternoon, Kendrick. My question
afternoon.
is, what did the General Cares Union learn from this pandemic? Did it introduce new techniques or tactics to the trade with the employer or in social dialogue with other organizations?
Can you repeat, please?
What did the General Cares Union learn from this pandemic? Did it introduce new techniques or tactics to trade with the employer or in social dialogue with other organizations?
Well, thank you for this question. I'm very happy about it, and I'll tell you why. I'm a person that enjoys using a hybrid of technologies to communicate. Therefore, the usual one-to-one, telephone, email, yes, essential. But as we are doing, video conferences are something that we can all do. Unfortunately, many citizens of Malta, employers and employees, don't know how to use such technologies. Such technologies can benefit us because they help us with time management, we can reduce traffic, and also we can do a lot more things because you can finish a meeting and start another one. Back to back, you don't have the traveling time, you are protecting the environment by reducing the exhaust. So there is great opportunity for us to learn from technology. I think this COVID emergency crisis that we have, it wasn't a positive situation, but I think with regards to technology, I think many people educated themselves and benefited from learning these new technologies. Many are now using different platforms to communicate. Many meetings are being done online as well. So people are saving time, communicating way faster. Yes, there are meetings which you need to be live and in presence of everyone else to discuss. But if it's a small thing, you just can call each other, do a video call, and there you have it. You can get the results. I think through this, during the pandemic, many employers have learned that flexibility at work and using teleworking can still benefit them. Many were very hesitant here in Malta to use such technologies. They were like, oh no, people need to be in the office, 9 to 5 work, so on and so forth. You know, their break, always, blah, blah, timing and all. I mean, the new technologies, you can audit the employees. Employees will give you the report. They will be more focused because they are on their laptop from home. They can do their errands, but still be focused. Many a times, when people are in groups and some chat here, some chat there, a coffee, while you are at work, you know, you can concentrate more. Like if you have some report, like you need to focus and concentrate, you're there by yourself doing teleworking, and you can complete your documents. I truly believe that there needs to be a hybrid between attending office and doing telework. I think from a 5-day week, like 3 to 2 should be in the office, 2 or 3 of them should be by telework. Clearly, it depends on the work that you do. Because as I said before, a cleaner can't do teleworking. But if you constantly write reports, documents, you audit them as well, or you do IT, then yes, you could build a hybrid and work more efficiently. I think we shouldn't be afraid anymore of these new technologies. I think during COVID pandemic, many employees proved themselves that they do succeed, that they are very good employees, that they have given more output as well. So I truly encourage even the government not to provide just teleworking for family-friendly measure means, but even people who are single or don't have children, they still can work with these new technologies and still give out results. These new technologies and new techniques are not an obstacle to work. No, they encourage work and encourage productivity. So as a union, I think we should promote it more, and building hybrids like attending the office, doing telework will benefit all of us and also our environment, because unfortunately we have a lot of exhaust in Malta. Our air pollution needs to be cleaner. So this could be another way that we could reduce such carbon emission. Thank you.
Thank you, Kendrick, for your time today. It was very fruitful. From what I can see, I don't see any other questions pending here. So again, Kendrick, thank you very much for joining us. Maybe you can join us in another webinar where we might host somewhere in the near future. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Hope to see you again next time. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
You too, Kendrick.